Hello, I'm Steve Monkey Mason and welcome to the good, the bad and the what the fucks. Volume 8, Scott Adkins Movies, Volume 1. Now first off, I do apologise. It's been about 3 months since I did a good, the bad and the what the fucks, which I think was Corey Haim Movies Volume 2. I think. I do apologise if I'm wrong with my own videos. Now, pretty much around about that time I got talking to Concert Magazine about doing fast forward reviews, and ever since that I've been doing fast forward reviews and they've been taking up much of my time. The movies I've been watching are random, all over the place, and then doing reviews for that. So doing the good, the bad, the what the fucks has been put on a bit of the back burner, but since the Corey Haim one has picked up a lot of traffic in the last couple of weeks, I've decided to get the Scott Adkins one out of the way so I can come back and do a new Corey Haim one, or another Christian Sailor, or finally get to Wesley Snipes in about a year's time. So this is Scott Adkins Movies Volume 1. Now I will not be biased. I've been lucky enough to meet, work with and hang with Scott Adkins in the past on the movie The Tournament, which was filmed nearly 10 years ago now. Now this is the British version. Sorry, wipe the side of the screen down. The Tournament. Now I do have the poster over there. I haven't planned this. That is The Tournament. Now if you get rid of that, Scott Adkins is on the American version. There he is in the bottom corner with Sebastian Foucan, Ian Somerhalder there as well. Yeah. So that's the American version. That. Now do I recommend this film? Yes. I'm not going to go too much into The Tournament. I've never really talked about The Tournament in 10 years. There's an anniversary coming up there, so I might be planning a little bit there. But let's have a look at 10. I don't think I counted that as one. Yeah. But yeah, Scott sorry, I've totally fucked up. I'm used to doing fast forward reviews, so it'll be like cutting around. Now there will be a fast forward review special episode cutting into this at the end, because I have filmed one of these films coming up as a fast forward review. And what I was going to say is Scott is a pretty awesome guy. That's why he keeps popping up in his show reels, some of the flips and kicks. His acting's got a lot better over the years. Some of the films I'm going to talk about, his acting's a little bit off cue, but the guy is a fucking freak of nature. The flips and kicks he does, it's just fucking ungodly. The guy is a total freak of nature, and this is why he was, before this guy became this guy, in the movie, the first movie we're going to talk about, with Scott Adkins' little claim to fame, is Wolverine. Wipe the side of the screen down. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now Ryan Reynolds plays the character Deadpool, or the Merc with a Mouth. And when Ryan Reynolds gets turned into Weapon X at the end, it's Scott Adkins doing all the flips, kicks, along with stunt coordination by J.J. Perry. So Scott Adkins is in this. He doesn't get any kind of like credit on it, but this film suffered some really bad CGI. Everyone talks about the claws in the fucking bathroom sink. It's like, what the fuck is that? Obviously this was, I mean, it did do well. You've obviously got Wolverine, and Logan is out next week. So there's a lot of hype for Hugh Jackman, but that was Scott Adkins' first addition into the Marvel world. Now he has recently just appeared in Doctor Strange, not out yet, but Scott Adkins is in Doctor Strange. But should you watch that? Yes, because it's an X-Men movie. You watch it now to go, that is Scott Adkins as Deadpool at the end. So anyway. So that's the first one. Now, as I say, I do apologise. I might be doing the fast forward kind of reviews, like jumping around, but I shouldn't be. Next up we have The Black Mask. Wipe the side of the screen down. A sequel to Jet Li's movie, Welcome to the Re-Evolution, whatever. City of the Masks. I seen this movie and I thought I was tripping balls. Scott Adkins appears upside down, laughing with a skinhead and like Vin Diesel. Glasses from Pitch Black going on there. This also, there he is there actually. If you can see him, he's rocking this big like tash. This film also stars Rob Van Dam as well. It's got some weird kind of wrestlers that turn into mutants and loads of fighting and loads of weird comic book style stuff. It's absolutely batshit crazy. I got this off Concert Magazine, believe it or not, years ago. I remember Barry Marco. Should you watch this? No! It's definitely a what the fuck. That's an okay, maybe. It's a bad, but watch it for the X-Men Origins. But Black Mask 2, what the fuck. Now get rid of that. Next up, Scott Adkins stars in a horror movie. Wipe the side of the screen down. Stag Night. Now this is the best new mainstream horror movie since Saw. No, sorry, that completely bald. From the producers of Die Hard 4 and Lucky Number 7. Lucky Number 7 was amazing. And the creator of Flightplan. This movie was bad. It's really bad. Scott Adkins plays a bit of a supporting role in it. He does appear on the back of the box there. Doesn't have his name anywhere on the cover, but this is proper under the radar kind of film. Do not watch this movie. It is a what the fuck movie. You know, Scott Adkins is meant to kicking and all that, but again, when he's acting, he was getting there. Sorry, Scott, don't kick me in the face, please. Next up, wipe the side of the screen down. Scott Adkins and Dolph Lundgren star in a couple of films like Universal Soldier 5, whatever the fuck that one's to be, and Expendables 2. Both of them are not in this review, but they're also in this together. Dolph Lundgren, Scott Adkins. Now, I understand Scott Adkins took this role as he took time off to heal his knee. See the big dragon in the middle here? Some myths should not be left alone. So looking forward to this when I seen this. Let's go, ooh, because I love me creature features. So this has no fighting in whatsoever. It's more of like a mystery leg. But the problem is, the creature in this does not look fucking anything like this. This is a total what the fuck movie. This looks like a massive gecko thing. It's like really bad CGI. And I was like, what the fuck? Where's the dragon? I see dragon there. There's no fucking dragon in this movie at all. Didn't get a Blu-ray release in the UK, and it's becoming a thing. Eliminators comes out on Monday when I'm filming this. The new Scott Adkins movie with WWE Entertainment Studios. And that's not even getting a Blu-ray release. Hard Target 2 didn't get a Blu-ray release. What the fuck's going on? Anyway, next up, wipe the side of the screen down. We have a Blu-ray release. Criminal. Starring Kevin Costner, Wonder Woman, Tommy Lee Jones, Commissioner Gordon, Gary Oldman there, and also starring Ryan Reynolds. So it sort of reunites Ryan Reynolds and Scott Adkins. This is a British crime movie. And this is awesome. This is definitely a watch the fuck film. A watch the fuck? Sorry. Watch film. Scott Adkins plays a supporting role in this. Is one of the UK, like Gary Oldman's like sidekick. It's great to see him in the movie, but it's just a massive cast, and he doesn't get his name anywhere in the top billing. Tommy Lee Jones got a massive mark on his head. If you haven't seen this, check it out. The storyline is pretty much someone, no spoilers here, someone has their brain transferred into Kevin Costner's head. Now Kevin Costner plays Jericho, not Chris Jericho, plays Jericho, a raging lunatic who basically has been locked up in prison for years, has a bit of a temple lobe problem going on, so they're able to input this guy's brain into his, because the other guy's dead. And he goes off and he's got kind of two personalities going on his head. Kevin Costner plays it really well. Scott Adkins just pops up for the crack basically. Now get rid of that. Next up we have, keeping on the British one, wipe the side of the screen down, Grimsby. Sacha Baron Cohen and Mark Strong, along with like quite a big other cast in this. Scott Adkins has a really good role. He plays the villain in this, and he pretty much gets to showcase the way he can kick people's fucking heads off. And it might mint fight scene later on, but if you haven't seen this movie, please be warned that there is a bit with elephants in there which will disturb the mind of people. But again, it's just great to see Scott showcase his abilities on a big movie. So it's got it good. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm not a fan of Borat and Ali G, but I did find this quite funny. But definitely check that out now. Whew. Next up we've got, go for this one, The Metal Hurlon Chronicles. Now I picked this up and have no idea what it was. I had no idea it was like a 6-part miniseries. Now if you have seen this, there is an episode with Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and one of the stars from EastEnders, and it's pretty much the storyline for 10 Cloverfield Lane. No word of a lie. Check it out. These are like really good short stories. They're really well done. There's a one which they find a body and they're like, what do we do with this guy? We've healed him. And set years in the future. They're like, we've healed him. Like, what can we do with him? Nothing. All he does is sit all day and draw in his cell. And you're like, well, we'll just harvest him. So they take this guy out and shoot him, and then you realise it's actually Walt Disney. But Scott Adkins reunites with Michael J.R. White. Say reunites. There's a film coming out with Michael J. White in a minute. Reunites them fighting, and it's bonkers. It's a medieval fighting on a floating planet, and it's in a big circle, and there's robots watching as well as humans, and they fight to death to swap people's minds. And I was like, now the thing is, Scott Adkins is on the back there with a gun held to his face. That does not happen in this series at all. And there is a follow-up. There are other Scott Adkins movies behind this. I haven't seen the second part of this, but I'm guessing they've gooned it in some way. I definitely recommend you watching that. 6 episodes to keep you entertained. Big cast, there's a lot of different actors in it. Rutger Hauer's in it, Kelly Brook's in it, Spike from Buffy's in it. And if you wipe the side of the screen down, I'll get rid of that too. First up, without wiping it down, Undisputed was a movie that came out where it had Wesley Snipes. No doubt this will appear on the Wesley Snipes Good, the Bad and the What the Fox down the line. Along with Vin Rames, who was also in the tournament. And the storyline is, Vin Rames is the world heavyweight champion, gets put into prison. He fights the undisputed champion of the prison circuit. Good boxing film, you know, but, you know, for the time it was good. Then came its sequel, right down the side of the screen, Michael Jai White and Scott Adkins. This movie is amazing. The fight scenes in this movie are ridiculous. Scott plays the baddie in it, and Boyka. And this is an amazing movie. You need to see to believe. Like the kick scene there is like split across the screen. Amazing movie. Scott is that good in it. There's an actual Undisputed 3 and an Undisputed 4 coming out. Definitely recommend you checking that out. If you like Warrior, check it out. If you want to see some great fight scenes, check it out. The acting storyline is the first one. It's just done so well. Now, next up, wipe the side of the screen down. El Gringo, starring Scott Adkins and Christian Slater. So this is another one that crosses over the Good, the Bad, the What the Fox. And the producers of Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. I was slightly disappointed with this movie. I really was, because again, this didn't know when it was going to come out. It got denied a Blu-ray release in the UK. Take the money and run. Scott Adkins is going on the absolute run. Look at that, man. This doesn't even have the font on it. And Christian Slater hunts him down like a dog in the street. Christian Slater playing a bad guy is always worth doing, because he always pulls it off really well. It's more of a shooting. You know, there's more of a shooting. There's not a lot of actual fighting in it. As I say, I was disappointed, but I do recommend it. It is hard to get a hold of, El Gringo. But yeah. Right, I'm going to piss off for a minute, and I'm going to cut to Fast Forward Reviews. Now, this episode of Fast Forward Reviews will be out in a couple of weeks' time. It is for the brand new movie Hard Target 2, starring Scott Adkins, and here's the review. The movie is Hard Target 2. This movie is an action. It's a thriller. It's a manhunt. It's a sequel, but it's sort of a remake. It's a Scott Adkins movie. The year 2016. Directed by Roel Rain, R-O-E-L, Rain. Sorry, director. Starring Scott Adkins, Rona Mitra, Robert Keeper, struggling today with these actors' names. Robert Keeper. T-Bag from Prison Break, that's what I should have said. And the New Zealand icon Temuera Morrison. What's for Warriors? I do apologise to all the actors for butchering their names in this video. Should be called Hard Spelling 2. Hard Talking 2. Hard Talking 2. This movie is a 15. Wow. Wow, why does it have to be a big 15? That's a bit of a technical error. Sorry about that. Budget? I don't know. Can't find anything about the budget yet. So here's a little bit about the movie. After accidentally killing his best friend in the ring, not the horror movie The Ring, he pretty much jumps up, spins around like a helicopter, and axe kicks him in the face. Yeah, you would drop dead off that. And that is the real Scott Adkins. The guy's a freak of nature. Wes, played by Scott Adkins, is now living in and getting by in Bangkok, taking part in random street fights. Is this Absent Without Leave or Hard Target? Which Van Damme films is this a remake of? Out of the blue, he is offered a high prize fight, which he could not really turn down. But it turns out he's been tricked to being the prey in a deadly manhunt. Fun fact about this movie, couldn't really find one on IMDb yet, but I have worked with Scott Adkins before. There's the cast call sheet for the day. Yeah, for the tournament. I'm breaking stuff. That's a fun fact. Bonus fun fact, Scott Adkins has starred with Jean-Claude Van Damme in a number of other movies. Scott Adkins is the new Van Damme of this generation. There've been assassination games before. Watch Scott Adkins run and just dropkick somebody like a stealthy ninja. They were in The Shepherd. And Scott Adkins is Van Damme's henchman in The Expendables 2. That's a good fun fact for you, isn't it? So what did I think about this movie? This movie is a really good watch. The fighting is excellent. The outline of the movie is the same as the first movie. And also Teabag, the baddie, is very like Lance Henriksen. He even has the one bullet pistol going on, and there's a lot of doves flying around because the first one was directed by John Woo. Don't know why I went woo. Wasn't directed by Ric Flair, was it? Woo! But apart from it having the same outline as the first movie, the backstory is far, far better. This is just as good as the original. And that's not me being biased, being a massive Scott Adkins fan. So for fans of the original, definitely check this out. It is a remake, it is a reboot, it is a sequel. It's all the things you love to expect of a 90s cheesy movie in the year 2016. Scott Adkins rocks out some absolutely amazing kicks. Some of the fighting in it is absolutely brutal. It is definitely worth watching because Teabag from Prison Break is the baddie as well. I've been Stephen Monkey Mason. Should you own this and you messed up? Yes. It's not out on Blu-ray in the UK. Why? Should you watch it? Definitely. How many concert breaks? I'm going to give this 3. 1, 2, 3. And as I said, I'm Stephen Monkey Mason. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. They were in another film together, by the way. Universal Soldier, Day of Reckoning. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren, Scott Adkins. I don't know if this is Universal Soldier 4, 5 or 6. It's the most baffling timeline in a movie series ever. But Scott Adkins stars in that, and Jean-Claude Van Damme is the bad guy in it. So that is fast forward reviews. If you haven't seen them yet, there's loads on there. There's different ones for The Thing, The Shining, all sorts is going on. The Abominable's on the way, Sneakers, Super. There's loads of different reviews in that kind of format. But that was Hard Target 2. Did enjoy it. You know, it's great to see. Now, Scott Adkins has done a lot of work with Van Damme. Purposely left all the Van Damme movies out of this review, as there will be more. Scott has new films coming out every other week, it seems, at the moment. I am trying to track a lot more down. And so next time there will be stuff like Close Range, which I believe is the same director as Undisputed 2, so I'm looking forward to that. Still haven't got around to watching that. Bought that months ago. Two Guns, which I don't think is the official sequel to the Denzel Washington one. I think they've just slapped Two Guns on it, but I will get round to that. Zero Dark Thirty, that is the Corey Feldman movie, not the Scott Adkins movie. So there's Zero Dark 30, so that's the one I was meant to have. Never seen that. Obviously gets a lot of praise. And there's other stuff like the Undisputeds will continue. The Universal Studios. The Universal Studios, fucking hell. So what's the good thing about the good, bad, the what the fucks? That is the good, bad, what the fucks I can swear for a start. Fast forward reviews, I can cut and redo stuff. This, no script, no budget, just fucking wing it. So yes, definitely check out Scott Adkins movies if you haven't seen them. You're bound to see them in Summit, but definitely check out definitely check out Undisputed 2 for the fighting, and that is absolutely mint. Hard Target 2 is worth the watch. Grimsby is definitely one to laugh at. Criminal was a really good movie. What are we avoiding? Steak Night, Legendary, Black Mass 2, Metal Hurlong Chronicles, definitely worth watching. El Gringo, give it a go. And I'll check out the rest for next time. So next time it will be Corey Haim Movies Volume 3. I will catch up with Corey Haim Movies. I've been Steve Monkey Mason. Thanks for watching and supporting. Don't know what's going on. I thought I had different ones there. Goodbye. Wow. There's an outtake. I can't see jack shit with that light on. Okay, here's an outtake for this, since the only outtake for this video was me getting blinded by the light. It's about a week and a half since I filmed the Scott Adkins Good, the Bad and the What the Fucks. I've just got back from filming Scott Michael Carrigan and Space, of all bands. Those are awesome guys. I'm tired. But today I got this. It is The Eliminators starring Scott Adkins, and I've got some bad news for you. Wade Barrett. I don't think you really need to Photoshop Scott Adkins' arms, but that will be in the next The Good, the Bad and the What the Fucks Scott Adkins movies. So, I've been Steve Monkey Mason. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.